T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
You are now tapped into the coolest reptile podcast in the world. I'm your boy, MJ. What is good? Welcome to Trap Talk with MJ podcast. If this is your first time tapping in, do your boy a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. That way you're on top of every single podcast I drop here on this Trap Talk with MJ podcast YouTube channel. I want to say also, drop a comment. Let me know what you're liking best with every guest I bring to the show, or any feedback means a lot. I want to say shout out to all my early birds in the comments. Shout out to all the early birds. I see you guys. I'll get to you guys in just a second. But I just want to say that this episode tonight is brought to you by my boy Alan over at Amazing Basins. He works with Amazing Basins. The name fits him very well. He has had some success with basins this year so far. Please go give him a follow. Head over to Instagram. See what it's all about. I am new to the basin family, and I got to tell you, it is something amazing. I'm telling you right now, if you're into boreal snakes, and if you just have any boreal snake and just never heard about a basin, and an Amazon basin, emerald tree boa, let alone never seen one in person, it will change your life. I'm telling you right now. These are the Ferrari of snakes. Not the easiest snakes to take care of, but in my opinion, they're Ferrari of snakes, the Amazon basin. Thank you, Alan, for sponsoring this episode. I want to say I appreciate you so much. Guys, he's a big bro. I mean, I'm telling you right now, he's definitely doing things I dream about doing someday with these basins. It just don't happen overnight. My man's doing it right. Thank you so much, Alan. I salute you. And yeah, I want to say shout out to anyone out there who subscribed to this channel. Thank you for coming back and showing me love. You're basically spending some of your life with me. And I got to say thank you so much for doing that. It means a lot. If you're looking to support this channel more than a subscription, I do this for a full time. So if you're looking to get more than what you see here on the podcast every week, even though I drop 3 to 4 podcasts a week, but still, if you want to get behind the scenes, if you're looking for exclusive content, if you want to tap in with some of my trappers, my La Familia members in the Discord, best thing you could do is go down to the link below, join the Trap Talk Patreon family. Once you join the family, you get the link to the Discord, and that will tap you in with all 125 plus trappers. That's right. Different channels for so many different things, different subjects, all of them primarily wrapped around reptiles, but there's a food channel, there's everything, health and fitness, mind shit, mushrooms, everything. It goes down the Trap Talk Patreon family. So if you want to support me, but more than likely want to get more out of this, and if you want to just get more out of the reptile game, shit, we will put you on in the Trap Talk family. So go down, come fuck with us, come join us. And if you're my Patreon member, I got to say thank you so much. I appreciate all my Trap Talk Patreon members so much. You guys are my heart. You guys are my motivation. I create exclusive content solely for you guys, and I'm going to go hard in the paint. And I got to say thank you so much. And but no, even you watching this really means a lot. So thank you so much. This is going to be a great episode because I have not brought somebody to this caliber as far as what we do, as far as working with an animal that I guess in this case an insect that we're passionate about. So yes, this is going to be awesome. First and foremost, I want to say who the hell's here in the early bird comments? Who's ready for this episode? I see a few people in this building who are very stoked for this episode. Shout out to the homie Big Mike, Patreon member, OG Patreon member. I salute you, sir. Please go give him a follow. OG Patreon member, that's for sure. Nessarg, what is up, player? Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. Go give him a follow. Lizard Man, what is up, player? Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. Thanks for tapping in. The homie Ricky Bobby, SRT. Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. The homie Silver Cash, what is good? Thanks for tapping in. Trap Talk Patreon member, the homie Python Patrol. Thanks for tapping in, Python Patrol. Wise Guys, what is good? Thanks for tapping in. Deviant Glass, Trap Talk Patreon member, what is good? Thanks for tapping in. Slithery Serpents, what is good? Thanks for tapping in. 843 Exotics, what is good? Thanks. The homie Josh, been watching this guy's YouTube for years. Always thought he should have a show on Discovery or something. His narration rivals David Attenborough. I'm not gonna lie. I've been listening to his narration on his reels, and his voice is pretty soothing. Actually, you guys are gonna trip out something about his voice. We'll talk about it later, but the dude definitely could sing. Just so you know. Let's see, Parallel 33, the homie Nate Dogg, Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. Focus Cube Habitats, #1 enclosures in the game. Also, my Trap Talk sponsor as well. Thank you so much, Steven and Ashley, doing big things with some of the biggest people in the game. That's these two, hardest working enclosure company in the game, in my opinion. Go give them a follow and go place an order. Go get yourself a sick ass enclosure over at Focus Cube Habitats. Go follow on Instagram and just be ready for whatever new design they come out with, because they are the shiznit. Thank you so much. Let's see, the Serpent Queen. Hello. Thank you for being here. The homie Jason Holbrook, Barbara J in the building. I hope you're ready for Tinley next month. It's going to be going down. Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day as well. The homie Huli Fulio. What is good? Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. I'm sorry, I have I'm losing my breath right now from the big ass dab I took. So don't mind me. But Julio Fulio, Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. The Blacklist Exotics. What is good? Thanks for tapping in. JKJ Reptiles. What is good? The homie Adler Serpent Eclipse Reptiles, aka A&E Foundry, aka big time Patreon member all day, every day. Go give him a follow. Thank you so much. The homie Sean Perry. What is good? Sound Serpents. Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. Let's see, the homie Cruz family. What is good? Trap Talk Patreon member all day. Actually, no, but he's a Diego homie. He's local San Diego homie. Cruz, you should join the Patreon family for sure. You'd fit right in for sure. Sephra, I think I mispronounced that. Let me get my stuff together here. Okay, Sephra Serpentis. Oh my gosh, I still can't say that. Russ, thank you for being here. MJ and Bustos talking form aside. Okay, I'm gonna just give up. Thank you for being here. Trap Talk Patreon member, Florida Born Exotics. Thank you so much. So homie Josh, Trap Talk Patreon member. Oh, by the way, Sandra and Alex, big time Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. Josh, Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. JSJ, what is good? Flex in Texas all day, every day. Spectro 7, what is good? All right, we're gonna end it with Joaquin Castillo. What up? How you doing, bro? Actually, we're gonna end it with my wife right there. Shout out to my wife. Yes, thank you for being here. All right, guys. Why ants? Well, listen, I got in trouble a lot in school, like in elementary school and stuff like that. Like I remember there were so many times where I wasn't allowed to play with the other kids. So what kept me company were ants. I'm not gonna joke. I'm not joking. Like where I swear to God, I remember being in trouble, being on the curb, and really just kind of admiring ants. Me and ants go way back. I'm just kind of sharing that story. The way I see this gentleman that we're about to have on the show here is bringing ants to his platform is way I've never seen ants be respected. Ants are no joke. This guy knows a lot about it. So hope you guys are ready to go, especially if you out there, you follow him. Hope you guys are excited because this is going to be a great episode. Buckle up because we're going in fast. We're coming in tight. And this is Mikey Bustos of Ants Canada, baby. Let's go.
Good.
You ready for do more in the future? Trap Talk podcasts?
Yes.
Man.
Only Trap Talk. Exclusive.
Yes.
Exclusive. Oh.
So stop calling us.
Rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the crop, gotta love it or not. I'm hot from the hop to the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with everybody, we do it. Everybody, we do it. Do it. Do it.
Mikey Bustos in the building, Ants Canada. What's up, buddy?
Hey man, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear us okay?
Guy, I cannot hear you. This we practiced everything. We went through tech and like I really can't hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You can hear me. Okay, but I can't hear you. Hi, guys. Sorry about this.
Turn the headphones
Let's see
off.
if we could figure this out. Hello,
headphones
Mercury
off.
in retrograde.
Here, watch. Turn the headphones off. Turn the headphones off. Kill the headphones.
Okay, I'm going to disconnect my earbuds.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. That has to be it.
Hello?
All right. Wait a second.
There
Can you
we
hear me?
go. I can hear you. What's up, MJ? This is live.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all, bro. I've gone through worse. This is nothing. I'm a pro. I could get us out of anything. We're good. This is nothing.
Awesome. Well, I'm really grateful to be here. Thanks, everybody.
Man, Mikey Bustos. Am I saying your last name correct? Bustos?
Yeah, Bustos. Yeah.
Dude, okay, listen. I've learned a lot about you just by discovering who you were at Animal Con. By the way, do you recommend Animal Con playing? Let's just get right into it. You recommend anyone out there who loves animals going to Animal Con?
Absolutely. Oh, I had a blast. For one thing, it's a great way to meet and network with animal creators. And I mean that we're in the digital and social media age. So there's a lot of wisdom you can get, even if you're not an animal creator. Just hearing people's stories and learning about animals. It's just a really great event. I had a blast.
It's like you said, even if you're like into whatever you're into, it connects you with so many different type of people. And it can really determine what your next step is in this. If you're looking to go somewhere, it doesn't make sense why you wouldn't want to go to a place like Animal Con. It's a perfect place to network.
Absolutely. Oh, it was so much fun. And I met you.
Yeah. What a killer time. You got to hang out with my wife. I found out what your guys' favorite Spice Girl was. It was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, by the pool. Your wife is really cool.
All right, so if I couldn't help but to notice one thing interesting about you, Mikey, is like, I think a lot of people had fans there showing them love, but man, you had so many people there to see you, and I couldn't help but to kind of start researching who you were. Us reptiles just kind of stay in our own realm. We just, I love the snakes I love, and that's it. I don't really like venture off, but I couldn't help but to go see what content you were putting out. Respect. I got to say, I've never seen ants be put on a platform the way you put them out there. But where did all this build from? How did this passion become what it was today?
Yeah, well, I totally didn't expect things to happen the way they did. I started maybe 2009 or 2010, just keeping ants in my room. I was living in Toronto, Canada with my parents. Didn't really have a job. I was actually trying to make it as a musician. And yeah, I just, this YouTube thing was kind of starting, and I thought I was late in those days. So I'm like, I'll just start a YouTube channel and film my ants. I had a small webcam at the time. And I just kept doing it. And 7 years later, the channel kind of experienced this crazy glow up. And yeah, it's blown up to something way beyond I ever thought it would.
So I can't help but to notice there's a comment that was dropped here earlier, and they said that there's a website because of you where if somebody wants to find a queen ant in their area, they could go ahead and do that. Is that correct?
Yeah. So if you go to antscanada.com, which is our e-commerce store where we sell ant farms, we found the most difficult thing for those purchasing ant farms were obtaining ants. Not everyone has the time to go out and look for queen ants, and it's a lot of hard work. So what we did is I created a section on the website called the Global Ant Nursery. So essentially, it's like if you go in the Queen Ants for Sale tab, it's essentially like an Uber for ants. So I wanted to empower ant keepers by allowing them to sell local ants to people who want to keep ant farms in their area. So
Wow.
it's essentially like a marketplace. We don't collect a single penny from these sales, but some of these kids, man, with their parents are earning thousands of dollars just doing what they love and selling ant colonies to people in their city. So it's a win-win situation. And I had to create the site because shipping ants from one area to another, as you might imagine, like with reptiles, right? It's in a lot of places it's illegal. And it can cause an ecological imbalance and, invasions and that kind of thing. It's actually more dangerous if ants invade an area because they're so low on the trophic level, like in terms of the food web, they can totally destroy an ecosystem. So that's why we created that site, so people would stop, selling ants in the black market. There is a black market for ants, surprisingly.
Oh my gosh. So the whole mass production side of things is something you guys try to go against, is what you're saying?
Well, we try to stop the shipment of exotic ants from one place to another and encourage keeping local ants caught from your backyard.
Okay. And I'm curious, I mean, what was it with you and ants? Like, why did you choose ants?
Yeah, I've been into all kinds of creatures, including reptiles. But there's something about ants that I really loved. Like, I love their social structure. Like, they're eusocial insects. So I loved the fact that they had a queen and, millions of workers, and each building a nest. Some were hunting, some were taking care of the kids. I loved that whole hive society. And just naturally, ants were the most fascinating creatures I've ever seen. And I try to bring that to the screen for the Ants Canada channel.
After I haven't been working with reptiles at the capacity I'm at right now for too long, but I can't help but to notice how, especially snakes, they want to be left alone. They're not sociable. You know what I mean? For the most part, they just, I'm sure some get so big enough and, where they could tolerate it, and it's not going to do anything. But from what I understand, just me being me, I think that snakes want to be left alone. So when I see something that works together as a colony and that wants to come together and protect each other, I admire that. Like, I love seeing, even monitors, they're very on their own thing too, but monitors are a lot more intelligent than a snake, and the way they cuddle with each other when they're cohabiting, I appreciate that. But when it comes to okay, here's a good example. Have you ever heard of African soft-furred mice? Have you ever heard of ASFs before?
African. Oh, are they social? They have a queen and all of that? Yeah, naked mole rats too. I like that.
Yeah. I don't know if they have ever heard them phrase it as a queen, but there's definitely a colony that's built, and then they breed and only keep their own, and you can't add anything else for death. It's instant death.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, and ants, like you said, they all work for the queen. You know what I mean? And, this goes back to just any kind of movie. This is stuff you see in Disney movies and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But it's real life. It's all these people, all these ants working on one purpose, working together. Like I was saying earlier before we got started, as a child, I remember literally staring at ants, just watching them work and always wondering what their purpose was, but they were always on a mission. If you always notice, ants are on a mission, and it's so neat, but I'm curious to ask you, because you're saying it's potentially dangerous to take certain species of ants from one demographic and put them in a different, is what you're saying, right? That's not a safe thing to do.
Yeah, and actually the U.S. government is really strict, particularly in California. They're trying to control fire ants. So, for example, fire ants, I'm sure you've seen them.
Oh, yeah.
Where you live? Yeah. So all fire ants... Yeah, fire ants are actually native to South America, and they've invaded so many parts of the world. And they've caused a lot of ecological imbalances, and they treat plant pests like cows. They'll milk them for a sweet honeydew that the ants love. And so they're actually agriculturally dangerous. And they're a nuisance. They totally get everywhere. And there are so many ants, like fire ants, that have invaded the U.S. So definitely, I mean, the government's trying to control ants as much as they're trying to control snakes, right?
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because there's so many other pet industry or animals that people work with where there's already permits in play. Like, people already having to provide that. We just haven't been one of those, industries yet, but I don't look at it as a bad thing. You know what I mean? I do know that some people unfortunately can't afford some of the stuff that may hit them, like people who are just solely, because here's the thing, we're moving to an era where a lot of these people solely rely on going to snake shows to sell snakes. Like, they don't even have Instagram. They just go to the snake shows. It's gonna be really hard to want to go there and now have to fork out money for permits per species for these snakes without even having to sell snake first. Like it's just gonna be harder for some people, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, actually, here in the Philippines, we're a tropical country, but they really regulate the keeping of exotics. So from tarantulas to snakes to birds, you need permits for all of those. So I have to get, like, I have a green tree python, and
Nice.
I needed a permit for it, and it's illegal. You could be fined a lot of money if you don't have the papers for it.
Well, I mean, you're definitely not far from an area where they're picked out of the wild. You know what I mean? Like you got to understand there's farms within, I don't know. I mean, you're in the Philippines. You're not far at all from all the shit that's going on. How far are you from Indonesia's how far from you?
Oh yeah, they're in the neighborhood. We're all in Southeast Asia. So in my yard, I've got some spitting cobras, and we have some retics in my yard as well.
Wow.
If you travel a little, we have some amazing tree pythons. And I've got some monitors as well in my yard. We see them often.
Mikey, can I come visit?
You absolutely can, man. I've been telling all the reptile guys at Animal Con, come here, stay with me, and you guys can go herping just in my yard. I actually live here. Let me show you. I actually live in like a farming area, so it's all agricultural. And it's tropical. So like it's all
Look at that, bro. You're there. You're there.
Yeah, we're out in the wilds here.
Oh my gosh. Man, listen, Mikey, I'm very, I travel a lot. Once a month I go somewhere, and I'm becoming more of a queen when it comes to traveling. Traveling is not always the funnest thing in the world, you got to
be able to rough it, man.
You got to be able to rough it. So what I'm trying to say is, like, I've been, one of my dreams is to fly where you live, but I'm like, I can never see myself flying there without knowing anybody. Like, I hate not going somewhere when I don't know nobody. Like, it's a really scary thing to do. So
Absolutely.
This is game changing right now. I can't believe this. This is nuts.
Oh yeah, man. If you ever come to the Philippines, we'll pick you up. You stay with us, and I'll take you to, there's this really awesome place in the Philippines called Mount Banahaw. And let me tell you, it is an ancient rainforest, untouched, and there's this huge cabin with a hot tub outside and the most mind-blowing insects and creatures and animals. It just, out here, it's really, really amazing. And which is why I kind of also support, like, going back to keeping of permits. I support that governments in tropical countries, like where we live, are regulating that. They're regulating export of, like, wild-caught wildlife. They're regulating keeping and breeding of wildlife because, in the end, it's all about conservation.
Yeah, I can't help but to want to care more about that. I'm not gonna lie, man. I came into this game, Mikey, like, from a really dark place. I was a DJ for 10 plus years. And I was, unlike, like you in the music game, I was trying to do that for a living. I was doing everything I can. I was going to shows, but I was also living a fast life. Drugs was a big part of my life, unfortunately, with the music. And it turned into me not even showing up to certain gigs. Like, my life was deteriorating. Let's just say that. So I've always had a passion for the reptiles. For whatever reason, all my 20s, I never had a snake, but I was going through such a dark time. I was literally just reminiscing the things that made me happy. And I remember having a snake all through my childhood, and I remember just Googling ball python and Craigslist and seeing a ball python on Craigslist. I remember that weekend I had a big gig in Mexico. I canceled that gig. I bought that snake, bought a tank for it, red lamp, did everything. I'm all against it now. I just didn't know better, right? Still.
Back in those days, we did it.
And so right after I did all that, and I'm looking at what I'm looking at, keep in mind, like, I'm a snake keeper from the 90s. You know what I mean? I didn't have no morphs.
Yeah.
My ball python was a regular ball python. Well, this ball python I got this ball python that I just picked up off Craigslist when I was 32 was like pastel. It was a Mojave. I was like, dude, what is going on? Yeah, I was tripping out. I was like, this is a ball python? And, I remember the guy who sold it to me. He's like, yeah. He's like, I'm going through a tough time. I don't want to sell this, but she's a really nice morph. And I'm like, what's a morph? And then, of course, I Google ball python morph. What do you think the first thing popped up when I Googled that?
Guess. Was it the morph you had?
No, well, like I guess what popped up on Google when I typed in ball python morph. What do you think popped up on the search? Can you guess?
Oh, no, I have no idea what.
Brian Barczyk YouTube channel.
Ah, there you go.
Dude,
Good old Brian.
My whole life changed, bro. Like I literally
The
became
OG.
like,
Yeah.
I mean, what did you fantasize as a kid? Like for me, I like WWF superstars, like wrestlers. I like they were like my heroes, right? And then
Oh my God,
obviously-
Jake the Snake Roberts was my favorite.
dude, right? So obviously, there's a time and point when we grew up where we don't look at them the same. I mean, we like them, but they're not like a hero. Like they're not a superhero. They're just another guy, right? So that like, yeah. So that kind of like it's like obviously people who believe in Santa Claus, they find out about Santa Claus in a sense, right? Not
Everyone's icons change as they grow older.
Right. It's funny you say that. Oh my God, we'll get there in a second. But Brian Barczyk was my new icon at 32 years old. I was obsessed, bro. Like I'm talking like watching every episode. You know what I mean? And then guess what? Guess who was right after Barczyk? Jay Brewer. I saw Jay Brewer, and I was like, my mind like this.
Yeah,
Unreal, bro. I couldn't believe
love
it.
them both.
Yeah, so that literally changed my whole life into seeing that there's a world with these snakes, and I had no idea how big the world was. And it's unfortunate but fortunate because this is the way life goes, right? You're talking about heroes. What did you say about heroes only being for idols for so long?
Yeah.
What did you say?
Yeah, no, I feel like the older we get, our set of icons change over time. And you know what? Meeting Brian and Jay blew my mind. Like it was so. I'm sure you'd met them before, but Animal Con was my way of meeting all of these like reptile creators who I followed. Even Bird Tricks. Did you get a chance to meet Bird Tricks?
I did.
Oh man,
yeah.
I've been waiting so long to meet them. Oh, it was so cool meeting all those creators. I wish I could go back.
And all of them had a really good story, bro. Like, I was able to have, I had you on one of the Q&A panels. I think it was one or two. I can't remember.
You did a great job at what is it called? Moderating that chat. That was really good.
Thank you, man. No, but it was really cool to see everyone's story and kind of hear, like the bird tricks, like they went through a lot of shit traveling with birds and doing what they do. It's not easy, and they're just very passionate about it. Yeah,
birds are hard.
Yeah, which you keep birds, right? You have birds you have an aviary that you just built at your house, right?
Yeah. I do. Yes. Yeah.
Now
it's a 3-story. Maybe I'll show you after.
Yeah. Hey, Mikey, do me a favor. The connection is really choppy. Exit out and come right back in.
Will do.
Yeah, I'll see you in a bit.
Okay, let's see if I can do this.
Okay. You could leave. I think it says, if not, I could kick you out. Let's see. Hold on. You there? Let me kick him. There we go. All right. Holy shit. He lives in Indonesia. Or not Indonesia. He lives in the Philippines. But he's close to Indonesia activity. Oh, man. This is going to be awesome. Can't wait. Thank you for tapping in. Sorry, little technical difficulties. He's in the Philippines. You got to understand these global podcasts sometimes get choppy. Here he is. He's here. Here he is. What's up, buddy? Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're good. Everything's solid.
All right. I had to switch devices.
You're good. No, you're good. This is actually better. So you're in a good place.
Okay, cool.
Now, back what I was saying, I want to know exactly what it is you have on hand in the Philippines where you live as far as animals. Yeah, I'm curious what your day-to-day is like with that goes at where you live.
Yeah, so, okay, I've got quite a bit. I love ants, but I love all kinds of animals. Like you, I started keeping herps in the 90s. I'm also mind blown by all the morphs that exist today, even here in the Philippines. But yeah, so I've got 4 dogs. And then I've got a goat who's just outside chewing on some grass. I've got 6 birds living in our aviary. In terms of reptiles, I currently just have a GTP, a Sonora, Sonoran. Is that what the? Oh no, I forgot.
Sarong.
Sarong. That's it. A Sarong
Yeah.
GTP.
Okay.
I've got a horned frog,
Nice.
and I've got a bunch of. Well, I've got ant colonies, of course.
Okay.
And I have tarantulas. I currently caught a huge centipede that
Oh my
crawled.
God.
Yes, I was unboxing like a furniture piece that I had bought, and all of a sudden this huge centipede came crawling out. Like
Oh.
the furniture was from here in the Philippines, so it's just an idea of like the kind of wildlife we have here. And then my home is just full of geckos. I haven't seen a tokay gecko yet. But yeah, we've got all kinds of, obviously the house geckos. Is it Hemidactylus? And tons of tree
Right.
frogs all around. It's kind of weird because the lines between having a pet and having like an animal from the wild that lives with you is kind of blurred. I consider them all my pets.
Right. So, I mean, I'm curious about how this transitioned from Canada to Philippines, because you were born and raised in Canada, or you were born and
Yes.
raised in Philippines and then Canada?
No,
How'd that
I was born and raised in Toronto, Canada, and it's kind of a weird story. So I started the Ant Channel in 2010, 2009.
Right.
I also started a a comedy. Oh no, I started like a vlog channel at the same time, and then I
Okay.
started doing Filipino comedy skits, and those blew up. So I actually went viral on that channel. It's called Mikey Bustos videos channel. And then
Okay.
I started getting work and like, business inquiries from the Philippines. At first it was to shoot some commercials. And I thought, oh, it's the Philippines, like I thought it was going to be a small thing. So they flew me, my brother, and his girlfriend at the time to the Philippines. And turns out these commercials were huge, like iconic. We shot 19 commercials in 3 days. And a TV network wanted to sign me. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to stay. So I went back to Canada, paid off all my bills, and was like, see ya, guys. And I did Philippine show
Wow.
business here. Yeah, I had three
wow.
television shows. I did movies, more commercials, and it's just now I'm currently an actor and a comedian here in the Philippines.
Damn, look at you, man. You are busy.
Yeah, it's crazy, and I'm running 3 channels now and starting a 4th channel.
Wow.
So
And,
it's just full time.
and this is all within the last 10 years of you finding out
Yeah,
about,
well, last 11 years or so. Yeah,
right? Man, and what does your family think
Crazy.
of this?
well, they're completely mind blown. I think.
Right.
I can't even explain how quickly life changed for me. It was 2011. Yeah, when everything just. But Ants Canada didn't really have legs, quote, no pun intended,
Right.
until around 2016. I think 2016 was when it had its glow up. So I was doing the Ants Canada channel for 7 years with not very many views, and then it completely took over and beat all my other channels.
Oh man, I'm glad you mentioned this, because check this out, man. I feel like
Yeah.
so many people come into this pet industry as a whole, right? They'll come across whatever channel, Mikey, and they'll see how good that channel is doing, and they'll instantly want that success. And
I
it's
know.
like people don't understand how so many things have to align, right? Like first off, you were doing work without expecting any of this. Like this is something that just fucking landed on your lap, because I always feel animals, more importantly, if you're really into it with the good intention with your heart, things just land in your lap. Things just start to happen.
Absolutely.
Like, out of your control. You're just like, whoa. And it's really up to you what you do with those things. I love this story right now, man, because my whole life has changed. Like I told you, I was in a dark place about 2016, and the animals really taken me. Like I'm able to do this podcast for a full time now, and you travel, meet people like you. And I'm blessed, but I feel like, am I the only one that's getting not lucky, but are, situation where things are landing in my lap? And I'm not the only one. Things just happen to people. I keep telling people that you got to keep your head down and just do the work and stop worrying about other people's success, because it's that you're never going to get you're never going to really enjoy what you're doing if you're always worrying about other people. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, I call it being in the zone. As long as you're in the zone, just forget everything else and do your thing, and everything will just fall into place. Like stay in that zone. In law of attraction, I follow a lot of self-help and like self-motivation literature, and in law of attraction they call it uh, staying in a high vibration.
Right.
So you're in a high vibration when like whatever you're doing, time just disappears. You could be doing it for hours and hours, and it's just time just goes by. You go through a whole day doing whatever it is you love. When you're in that zone, things just kind of fall into place. I find that's what I find.
The whole when I
And
got rid of
congrats,
the
by the
whole,
way, on this podcast. This is an amazing podcast, and it looks like you've built quite the community here, which is great
Thanks,
to see.
I appreciate it, Mikey. Yeah, man. If it's one thing I can't help but to realize is, and dude, work ethic was something I was really, like sports, I busted my ass, but academics, like, my job, I was a sales guy. I did very minimal work. I did what I had to do to get paid. You know what I mean? And that was it. I never had a really,
We were all there.
I didn't give a fuck. I just didn't care, and then now I'm in a place where, like you said, time is like, man, I value time because you can't get time back, right? But if you're spending it wisely, you're in control of time in a sense. You know what I'm saying? And ever since I got rid of the whole clock in, clock out mindset, like, I have to go to work. No, I get to go to work. I get to go to the animals and give them the best care possible. I get to do this podcast 4 times a week. I never have to say, oh man, I have to. Fuck that. That vocabulary is out of my mouth now. This is just an honor to do this and work for myself and only myself. I mean, how's that feel? Let's talk about how you're basically people working for you. You know what I mean? What a feeling.
Yeah. It's pretty cool, man. I've done all sorts before doing this. I've done all sorts of jobs. I was the guy who wheels in food to the back of restaurants. I did that for a while. I was working at a warehouse, all kinds of jobs. Like I no matter what I did, I tried to make the best of it. But yeah, nothing beats working in whatever you're passionate about. And I've always loved doing that, even if it wasn't making a lot. My first job, man, get this. When I was a 17-year-old, my first job was working in the exotics department at a pet store. The best job ever, in the reptiles department.
Seriously.
At a mall. Oh man, I was making minimum wage, but I didn't care. It was just, it was so much fun. Like, I totally support anyone doing whatever they love, and not because of the money.
Let's talk about the one job we all thought that was like the best job in the world to have, but it's not. A zookeeper.
What?
Zookeeper.
Hey, you know what?
Actually,
it's funny you mentioned that. I thought you were going to say veterinarian. Personally, I would love to be a zookeeper, but I guess it's to each his own. Like maybe some personalities are more suited to be zookeepers, but yeah, there are some jobs that you initially think, hey, that would be an awesome job, but then you realize it comes with a lot of responsibility and work.
Well, okay, so I met a guy. Well, I know a guy. He's my good friend, Dennis McNamara. What a guy. I had him on the show. He's been at the Virginia Zoo for 22 years, okay? 22 years at the zoo. And he was just in a fortunate position where the guy who had the biggest role in the department happened to retire, and he happened to fulfill that position where if it wasn't for him getting that position, he would have never been in the zoo field for this long. But he was lucky enough to get handed the baton. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Other than that, I was like, I much rather be a zookeeper for myself and have my own zoo. You know what I mean? Because, it's not always easy, of course, and everything I have wasn't built overnight. It happened just with time. But, I always thought the zookeeper life would be the best life. But in reality, they don't get paid hardly anything. It's a rough life. And you're caring for someone else's animals, which is still cool. But I don't know. That was definitely a myth buster for sure.
Yeah, nothing beats caring for your own animals for sure.
Yeah,
it's funny you mentioned that. Like, I have a friend who was selling a zoo, and asked if we wanted to take it on. But that owning a zoo it's definitely a calling. I would have to definitely drop everything else in life just to carry that zoo.
Now, let me ask you what you're doing currently. Because you got multiple gigs going on right now.
Yeah.
Your income streams, right? What's making more currently, the ants project or you're acting and that other stuff? What's a bigger income for you right now?
I actually don't know. I haven't
Wow.
checked. Yeah,
Must
I
be
don't
nice.
know. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Well, the reason why go ahead.
Yeah, no, go on. You were gonna say?
No, the reason why I was asking because I'm curious, like, investments. I mean, a lot of people reinvest into their businesses and whatnot. So,
Oh yeah,
I'm curious if you're looking at income to where's one helping the other one grow, or something, or like is one
Yeah,
supporting
well,
the other?
I would say about 80%, or around there, of the income we make gets reinvested back into the businesses. I don't mix the revenue streams from the businesses. I like to I like to see it as like being a farmer, because I am a farmer. I live
Yeah.
here on a farm. I like to just plant things and
Okay.
just kind of set them up so they grow, and then
Right.
just I don't like to like cross pollinate. Like for example, for Ants Canada, I never I mean, I tried not to say, hey, I'm the comedian Filipino guy
Separate
from this channel, and I try to keep the channels separate. And a lot of people are like, why don't you plug your other channels on Ants Canada? And I say, well, I kind of want to, I'm more of a purist that way. Like one time I did mention on Ants Canada, or a couple of times, about my other channels, but it was kind of a weird crossover, and it was just, I try to keep everything that I'm working on separate, and I kind of want it to grow organically on its own,
And then
without
also-
the help of like other channels. I try anyway.
And I feel like you're not opposed to where if something were to happen in this where you see where it makes sense, then you'll do it. But for right now,
Yeah. If it makes sense, then I'll do it. Yeah.
this
correct.
work right now, it works the way it works for you. And I feel like that's the smart thing. I feel like a lot of people are doing something that works for them, and they like get advice or see that someone does something else, and it kind of throws them off. Like, kind of like, so I always feel like just do everything organic, and then obviously if it feels right and it makes sense, then go from there. But if you got something that works for you, because organization's everything too, man. It's really hard to be some people, I'm pretty scatterbrained, but I do have the podcast.
Same here.
Yeah. I think, departmentizing, or how do you say that? Like putting things in departments, like you said, categories. It's easier for me to see, especially when it comes to the growth. You know what I mean? So I totally know what you mean by that. I'm curious about what your overall goals are with the Ants Canada brand. I mean, let's just say things really take off with your comedian career, and stuff with the acting career, that could get really demanding. Do you ever feel like might have to, you might ever feel like there might be a time and place where not really sell Ants Canada, but hand it over to someone to run and do most of the stuff? Do you ever feel like that might be a case?
Yeah. Currently Ants Canada is, we're a small team, but I really like the setup now where I just handle the channel. And then I have a team of, for example, I have a partner over in Utah who handles the warehousing and fulfillment and shipment. Okay. So that's all handled. We have someone who handles CSR, so customer service, at a call center. So any customers who have any questions can communicate with one of our CSRs there to help with that. So it's really all about what you were talking about in terms of departmentalizing. It helps to delegate. To teamwork makes the dream work, man. So the bigger your team is, the better. My next steps for Ants Canada, I think, are to increase my production team here in the Philippines. So for filming and editing, because man, do you edit YouTube videos too, or?
I do all my own editing.
It's hard work, right?
Oh my God, it's a lot. I look at it. Here's the thing: like, I want to get better at it, because you always can, but it's just so tedious, bro. It's just, oh man, I'm not gonna say that I'm lazy. I do get better by each vlog, but I just know that there's so many more things I can do to like make the vlog more of a vlog. Because again, I'm trying to compare myself to people like Barchek and stuff, and I'm really not. Barchek's been doing it for years, but it just kind of gets in your head. The editing thing, you want to get better, you want to do better, and you can't help but to look at someone else's editing and say, oh my God, how can I do that? And
Yeah,
you
yeah,
kinda
yeah. No, just
put
do
it
your
to
own
a-
thing, right? That
yeah, yeah, yeah.
everyone has their own style, and some people don't like vlogging or creating videos. Some people they really flourish in like podcasts like this.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I totally get what you mean. I could never do a podcast. I could never do what you do. So I
Oh,
have
you're,
respect for people who have the guts to do like a podcast totally live, unedited.
so let's talk about some real life situations here, Mikey. A lot of
Yep.
people, for the most part, well, at least in America, hate their jobs. They're not really happy waking up doing what they're doing on a day-to-day
Yeah.
basis. They favor stuff like this, like you said, or Barcheck's YouTube channels or other inspiring animal keepers YouTube channel, and they want to be able to do something like what we do for a full time, but situations, everything. Some people's situations are different than others. For anyone that out there is thinking like, how can I take the first step into the right direction of potentially doing something that I love for the first time, but they're just so stuck in a 9-to-5 cycle. Do you have any maybe
Yes.
advice on how someone can maybe put a belief in themselves and kind of like first step forward on this, especially if they're
Yeah,
depressed,
man,
especially if
we've
they
all
really
been
hate their
there.
lives. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we've all been
Yeah.
there. Well, yeah, I think one thing is to reach out and like network with people who you feel like you would like to emulate, or like this is why I loved Animal Con, because it was a great way to meet other creators and learn from them. I
Yeah.
don't see people's value in terms of how many subscribers they have or how big their following is. Whether they be someone with only 500 subscribers or someone with millions of subscribers, like you can learn so much from just anyone. So I think my advice would be to get in that community, like learn from people who you'd like to be like, and pick their brain, because I find success is really a mindset that can be absorbed like a sponge. Like the more you surround yourself with people who you feel like are successful, the more you kind of absorb how they think and their behaviors and that kind of thing. So yeah, that would be one thing. And two, if you're talking about improving your life, I think things turned around for me when I started really getting into like all the self-help books and self-motivational stuff. Books like Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, The Law of
Right.
Attraction by Abraham Hicks, all of those like books that kind of help transform. A lot of people find that stuff cheesy, but no, it really made the difference for me. You got to understand, I went from living in a small, tiny studio with negative thousands of dollars to now I'm living on a farm, a house that we've built in just 11 years. So, and working with animals, which is totally my favorite thing. It's really all a mindset that can be learned.
Well, I mean, with all due respect, man, and this, I know I'm not the only one, but my family's fucked up. Like I come from a family that's like, just like, oh
I mean,
my
don't
God.
we all? Who comes
It's
from
like-
a perfect family, man?
But like, it took me so many years, literally about a year ago. Am I now getting referred books that are changing my whole perspective, changing my whole life?
Really? Like what books?
Well, I mean, I have.
one.
This one right here, actually. I mean, I've never been I've never been good at saving money. Like one of my,
yes, of course, yeah.
one of my, and you know what's funny? I never really read money books. Law of Attraction stuff. Those books, like they're overall like, or something that really gets, but overall, like, my life's changing. My life is changing financially, and I don't want to be somebody who is. And like you were talking about family, like my family's horrible with money. Like it's a history. Like you could just see, like no one's ever been really good money. No one's really been good with money in my family. No one's ever got themselves help. Like we all have fucking anger issues. Like, and like I said, we're not all perfect, but there's so many things that we could do to not have to live like this, like,
Absolutely.
and I lived my life angry a long time, angry, pissed off at people, just like, so many things that I didn't know that I'm in control to fix. And people don't understand that
Absolutely.
if you're miserable, no one else could fix that but you. Nobody else.
Yeah,
You
that's
know what I
right.
mean? And
Yeah,
just
and
pick,
like going back to what I said, like if
yeah,
you are in a dark place, if you hang out with people who are in a light place and a higher
right,
vibration, it just
right.
rubs off on you, man.
Dude, honestly, another thing too, Mikey, that's been changing, and I've been barely doing this for like 3 months or so. I had to get a new book, but writing things down. I write shit down every morning.
Oh,
I wake,
good. That is
I,
so good.
I wake up, bro. Whatever's on my mind, I put into play. I even put down what I didn't do the day before. Anything I start to think, because if it's one thing, I'm an active thinker in the morning. When I wake up,
Yeah.
like my thoughts are what wakes me up. Like I'll wake up at like 4 a.m., Mikey, and be like, you need to wake up. And I feel like that's my thinking time. You know what I mean? So I start putting shit I just start writing stuff down now. You know what I mean? On top
That's
of
amazing.
But if you would ever told me this in my DJ days or anything when I was really fucked up, I would have been like, get the fuck that stuff. What are you talking about? Like, I would have thought you were a joke. Another thing I started doing, affirmations. I do morning affirmations.
That's
Every
awesome.
single day, I live by the affirmations, bro. The
Ah,
affirmations
no wonder you're doing so well. You do positive affirmations.
every
That's
day,
wise.
bro. Even at night, man.
Same here. I do them every day.
Yeah, if I could get it in, I'll do it. Even when I'm traveling, my traveling buddies are like, they're like, yeah, you do affirmations. I'm like, yeah, you can hear me in the morning in the shower, huh? I do that shit every morning, man. I don't care
That's
where I'm
good.
at.
I think I think the mind is so underrated. Like
Oh,
conditioning the mind
so
is so
powerful.
underrated. They need to
It's
teach
so
that in
powerful.
school.
They won't
So
though.
powerful.
They don't. Here's the thing: all the powerful stuff that we could do to where we don't need to work for a corporation, they don't teach us this stuff in school. They don't want you to know this brain power. You might have that teacher who's going to school you, but man, I never knew any of this stuff, like self-help,
Yeah.
like dealing with
Yeah,
your
yeah, yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I was just hard-headed, but dude, I never really knew about anything but to just be myself, and that wasn't always a good thing. I had to be told I was a problem, and that didn't happen until I got older, until I started like just being a bad person, man. Like I was,
Yeah,
like I said, there's monsters out there. I wasn't a monster, but I did things I'm not proud of, and it just makes me come to light that you're definitely not defined by your past. You aren't your past. But man, I feel like that's my biggest motivation. The shit that I used to be and the stuff that I don't want to go back to. And now that I have a taste of this right now, what's happening, Mikey, I don't ever want to go back to a situation like that. So when
That's
this
right.
kind of stuff, reading, writing stuff down, affirmations, stretching out, you know what I mean? Like it's all those little things just all come together, and life isn't meant to be easy. And one thing Joe Rogan says, Joe Rogan's somebody I listen to pretty.
Joe Rogan
not
is
as much,
awesome. He is such a law of attraction guy too.
but he always says create your own challenges, because life will hit you with challenges. But if you create your own challenge, like waking up in the morning, working out, doing something that really is hard for you to do, if you do this on your own, when the life challenges happen to you, it ain't shit. You can handle it. It's, like you gotta understand that it's the mind, man. It's the mind. This is so powerful. It's conditioned.
Yeah.
It's
I find the mastering the mind is really, I call it the cheat code of like the game of life. If you can master your own mind, everything is life just falls into place. It's almost like, it's like a cheat code for a game.
Yeah. I just know, man, and this is not anyone's fault. It's just the way the cards roll. But I have certain aunts and uncles. Shit, my dad. I love my dad, but man, my dad's never changing. My dad, my dad. I tried telling him about the affirmations, and he just like uses one. He'll never.
Not
he'll never
everybody's
get
open to it.
but here's the thing, though, too. Like the era, you gotta understand that the older heads, like the older people, like this was never part of the realm back in the day. Like, are you kidding me? All this self shit was like, it was a gimmick. It was a joke. But it's really not. Like, it depends what it is. I feel like you just need belief. You believe in anything, you can go places. I think that's what it is.
Absolutely.
Just believe in something. Okay, listen, I have a wrap-up question for you here, Mikey, before we get into some hot seat questions. And I know you got a whole day ahead of you. It's fucking morning time over there. What time is it right now?
It's 9:54 a.m.
Okay.
So we're just the opposite of like New York time.
Okay. Oh, perfect. Okay. All right. Wrap-up questions for Mikey because he has a 10 a.m. meeting. This guy does not play. He's on the go. Oh, wait, but hold on. Before wrap-up. So listen.
Yeah.
Anyone out there, Mikey, anyone out there who has something that they could kind of bring to the table content-wise, they just don't know how to figure it out. And what I mean by that, a lot of people feel like they need to invest in camera equipment. They need to do a lot of things to get the ball rolling. how was some of your first content really being put out there? And do you recommend someone invest in equipment right off the bat if they do want to start doing content, either YouTube, Instagram,
Man.
whatever the case
Yeah.
is?
Well, see, here's the thing. When I first started back in 2009, it was a very different landscape, man. Like I could just film using my webcam and things could go viral. Nowadays, production value kind of matters because the bar is so high now. But TikTok has changed the game. So if you don't have the funding currently to invest in like good quality cameras, good quality audio, you could just do TikTok, which made things so much simpler with just using your mobile. So yeah, there are definitely options. It's really just a matter of choosing your platform because each platform has a different culture and different parameters. So yeah, my advice is if you are serious about joining the platforms like YouTube, Facebook, even Instagram, then yeah, it kind of does require you to at least have a mid-range level equipment. That's what I think. That's my opinion. Just because the bar is so high in terms of like camera quality nowadays.
Yeah, but if you get an up-to-date camera phone, you're good. That's the thing.
Oh yeah, I forgot to say that. Yes, the camera phones now are awesome. I film my vlogs for my vlog channel just from my phone.
Yeah,
and it's like, totally okay. Audio's good, stabilization's good, lighting, it's perfect.
I just invested in a camera for vlogging, and man, I did not want to use it because I've been using my iPhone, and the iPhone's like, okay,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
I know.
So now
what
I have
camera, like the G7X?
It's a Fujifilm XS10.
Oh
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's awesome, but it's obviously it was something where you know how much these kind of cameras can cost, and then the whole and then I get it in, I'm like, oh, this is just the body, and I'm like, what does that mean? So I can't even use it. I can't even use it until I get another lens. And so the actual lens, which is it costs just as much as the camera almost. And I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. But honestly, if you look at the quality, this is like primo quality, I gotta say. But listen, I've always used an iPhone. iPhone has always gotten the job done. And I feel like if it's one thing you don't go cheap on nowadays, if you sign up with a cell phone company, do what you got to do to get the nicest iPhone or smartphone or Android, get the highest one. Because if you do that, you can save yourself $3,000 on buying a camera like this and shit. You know what I mean?
For sure. And I mean, the technology is always getting better and better, so it makes more sense than investing in a $1,000 camera that like will be outdated in a year.
I mean, there was an even higher grade. It's so crazy how these cameras that are like shit, you know how expensive they can get, but like you really don't need. You gotta find out what you need it for. I found out that this camera that I have is like a lower version of another one that's like $2,500 more, and it like does these things where I'm like, I'll never use that. So I feel like you should definitely look into the features that you're paying for too. Like don't just because Jay from Brian's vlogger, Brian camera guy has that camera. Don't get that camera. He probably knows what he's doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Start slow. I always feel like just get your feet wet, even with the phone. If you can start vlogging and you get it down with the phone, and then you're ready to invest, I think,
Totally. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Use what you got.
Listen, you have an admired fan. This girl is definitely an Ants Canada family member for sure. So she has a question.
Okay.
I want to go and ask it to her. So how to catch queen ants? There's a queen ant in Negros occasionally, so to plan to go and catch some queens here in October. Thank you, Donnie. How would you recommend catching queen ants, or do you even recommend?
First of all, I know this girl. Hi, Danica. She's she also follows my vlog channel. Hi, Danica. She's an OG. She's been supporting me for years.
Oh, I love it.
How to catch queen ants? You have to wait for their nuptial flight. Here in the Philippines, where she was talking about Negros Occidental, was it? Usually they happen year round because we don't have winter. So yeah, it involves catching a queen ant during a nuptial flight, which is usually at the onset of rainy season, perhaps around May-ish, sort of. But if it were in North America or Europe, Northern Hemisphere, it would be usually spring and summer. Those are the best times to catch queen ants. And they're like basically ants with wings. They'll fly into the air, and you just catch a queen and put her in a test tube setup, and she'll lay eggs for you. And then once the colony is a nice size, you move them into an ant farm, and that's how it works. That's how ant keeping starts.
Wow, epic. Okay, listen, I know you got to go soon, so here we go. Hot seat questions for Mikey. Ants Canada, are you ready for these hot seat questions, Mikey?
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. Since now these are primarily reptile related, but you kept reptiles.
That's
so you
okay.
Okay, perfect. Here we go. Hot seat questions, Mikey, Ants Canada. Here we go. Frozen, thawed, or live?
Thawed.
Okay. A cut or no cut?
What?
A cut or no cut? If you had a clutch of eggs, right? Would you ever cut the eggs, or would you never cut the eggs?
No, I wouldn't cut. I just let them hatch naturally. Mm-hmm.
Respect. Red chondro neo or yellow chondro neo?
Oh man, these are like hardcore herp terms. What does that mean?
Chondro, sorry. Baby green tree python. Red baby green tree python or a yellow baby green tree python? Which one would you
Yellow.
pick? Okay.
Yellow.
Yay imports or boo imports? If it was up to you, would you allow imports to be shipped from America and back, or no?
I would say no. You would. I would be. I would be
Okay,
a.
it's okay. Just say it. Just say it. Just say it. It's okay.
No, because I'm also keeping imported animals that have, so. But I would say it depends. Like, are they caught? Are they endangered? I don't know. I would say no. Let me just say no.
Okay. All right. What about on the flip side of things? What's one reptile or any animal that you would import to your collection today, anywhere around the world? What would it be?
Oh gosh. It would definitely be a lizard. Oh, I miss keeping anoles, green anoles. We don't have them here in the Philippines. They could be invasive. So yeah, green anoles. I would totally love to have a colony of those.
What about one reptile you could think of that nobody should ever import? Leave it alone. Just let it be in the wild. Don't touch it.
People are going to hate me for this.
Retic.
Retic.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. Mikey.
Yeah.
You're my Filipino brother, dog. You know what's funny?
I'm going to get bashed for this.
No,
and like, I love what Jay Brewer does. And I love, but I mean, I come from where they live and I see how they live and I see what they eat. And it just, people are going to hate me for this. So I'm just going to not say anything.
I don't want to get off topic, but they're not obese in the wild, right? They're not. They're so overfed and they're being killed here in people's collections by how bad people feed them. You know that, right?
Oh yeah, like the retics here are really slender, and I mean, right. I see their skin in the trees.
Right.
Yeah, and this retic that I saw one time, I was holding a baby. It totally leaped. It jumped from where I put it down.
They're athletic.
Leaped.
They're athletic.
Yes, they're very athletic and fast.
Oh
but most retics that I see online are really kind of sluggish. I personally, people might hate me for this too. I don't feed my GTP every week. No. I sometimes don't feed it every 2 weeks. I sometimes feed it once 3 weeks.
Yeah, you understand. They're not in a place where it's like a fucking hometown buffet. They don't like they're constantly fearing for their life. They're trying not to get killed. So they're just moving and they eat when they can, they love to climb. Yeah. They love to be all over. They're not meant to be kept in a rack system or in a confined space. I'm glad you mentioned that, man. You see it, you know it. So sorry, I don't want to get down that rabbit hole.
There are studies that suggest that limiting calories extends an animal's life. They've done things on like rats and stuff about that, but even humans, they say like taking less calories will extend your life. So I don't know, who knows?
So what about this? To spray a green tree python, like to mist it or to not mist it?
Oh, well, wouldn't it depend where you live? Like here, I
like that. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, keeping a reptile in Florida is very different from keeping it in, say, New York. I think if you're in New York, having some kind of misting system would really be beneficial.
So depending on the demographic is what you're saying.
Yeah. Like my GTP, I don't have heat lamps on it.
It's all natural.
I don't even mist it. I just kind of like pour water into the whole setup and like the plants drink it. And yeah.
I love it. Okay. Steak or fish?
Oh, this is hard. I love fish, but I prefer snake because it's less maintenance.
No, steak, like steak. I
Oh,
always people.
steak. Definitely steak. I thought you
Okay,
said
cool.
snake or fish. Okay, yeah. I definitely steak.
Favorite
Love a
cut.
good.
Favorite cut of steak.
Oh man. Oh, I mean, I eat a ribeye usually every
Yeah.
day. It's
Wow,
not
you eat a
everyone's
ribeye
favorite.
every day. Wow, life
Yeah,
is
beef
good.
is kind of affordable here. Beef is affordable here.
Wow,
I live
epic.
on a farm, remember? It's literally
Yeah.
from the field. Yeah.
Van Halen or Sammy Hagar?
Van Halen.
Yes. West Coast
Because I
rapper.
don't know the other guy.
West Coast rapper. East Coast rap.
Oh, this is so hard. I love West Coast rap.
Favorite West Coast rapper of all time.
Tupac.
Little word association. The first thing to come to mind. Reptile hobby.
Vivarium.
Milk.
Cows.
Stuck shed.
A what?
Stuck shed.
What's a stuck shed?
Okay, so you know when when the shed gets stuck on the animal, you know when the animal
Oh,
sheds and
yeah. Misting. Don't they
okay.
have like products that can help you like remove it? Doesn't Zoomed have like a spray that to help you remove it?
I love it. Favorite ant species.
Currently, Asian weaver ants.
Your overall thought on the ant community.
Completely booming, and it's in its infancy right now, kind of similar to how the herp hobby was in the 90s.
If there's anyone out there in the United States right now over hoarding reptics to the point where like they were missing faces, obesity, anything like that, what would be your recommendation for that person?
Oh man.
What would you say to them? Like let's say you walked into a facility and you just saw really neglect. Like you were like, what the hell is this? And that
I
was
feel like this is a loaded question. Like
I mean, first off,
you're not talking about anyone in particular, right? We're just
well,
like
there's one of many. There's too many. I mean, I can name a few, but I'm not. I'm
okay.
just saying
Let's
there's a
not.
wide range. There's a
Just
wide
to
range.
each his own, I guess. But
Right.
my advice would be to downsize. I'm not really a fan of having a massive collection unless each animal is having a good quality life. So if they have a big team, then that's okay. But if it's just one person with so many animals and like no staff, I would say downsize. That's the best. Like quality over quantity, right?
I mean, not only that, like, what about just having fun? Like, how is dealing with animal neglect any kind of fun whatsoever? Like,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean,
This goes to mental health now. This goes into mental health because
sure.
I feel like animal hoarding is a problem for a lot of
Oh
people.
my God, you're so right.
It's my biggest fear. I like always stop and check. I'm like, am I animal hoarding now? Is this animal getting the best quality of life? Like I sometimes have to check myself too. Like even if it's just bugs, like I want to make sure every animal gets cared for. Like don't you find a lot of creators sometimes they're borderline hoarding?
Come on, Mikey. I don't want to listen. You don't have much time, and I don't want to keep going down this route. But there's somebody you love somebody I'm not a big fan of because of this hoarding situation. You know what I mean? It's pretty bad.
Well, you kind of have to feel bad for some of these hoarders because hoarding is actually a mental health issue.
I mean,
It has nothing to do with
I
the animals, really.
I never looked at it like that, but I do know that hoarding anything is a mental issue. People who have hoarding, people who hoard newspapers and shit. It's weird.
Yeah, it's a mental health issue. It's like
so you're right. You can't say that there's not the same thing with animals. But somebody should do something, especially if it gets that
absolutely.
bad.
There needs to be intervention no matter what the hoarding is.
Thank you. That's it. Somebody needs to do something. Somebody should say something and whatever. Listen, this is all about the animals. Mikey, why you're here, why I'm here is because of animals. I'm not here anywhere, no other reason. My reptiles is what brought me here, so that I'm very protective over that. And even when I go to somebody's place, You know, if I'm going to make sure I have sleepless nights because my animals are taken care of, I expect the same shit with somebody else if they have a shit ton of animals too. You know, I hold that.
Yeah.
I just hold that standard with me. And, you know, I won't badge anyone. I won't I will just understand that's what kind of person you are. And there's levels to this. You know what I mean? And that's all.
Absolutely.
You know?
And you know what? Like what's great about having animals like reptiles as pets is they don't really form like bonds like some animals.
No.
Like birds, if you keep rehoming a bird and it's bonded to you, it will like self-destruct. But like snakes and stuff, there's something cool about handing an animal that you've kept that isn't like bonded to you to someone who might appreciate it better. So I'm totally for rehoming animals. I don't find it as responsible, or it's not like a child, you know, a human child, right? Rehoming a lizard or a snake to someone who might provide it a better home and might enjoy it more than you, I'm totally for that. Like I love downsizing a collection. Like ants don't care if you pass an ant colony on to the next person. They don't care. They just they want food and water and space. So
that's what a snake wants. And I'll tell you right now, there have been things that I've held on to the point where I'm smart enough to where like, okay, if I need to do what I need to do, I need to let things go. But I let him go to the person that was just excited as the day as when I got this animal. And that's what matters. Like it's, you know, it's really helping that next person continue on what we're doing. Because if it's one thing that made me change in this game is not be so selfish, Mikey. I used to not want to help people. I was very just self-centered, but that doesn't help this community. When you're self-centered and you don't help other people, that limits what we can do. So I'm not trying to limit this industry. I want everybody to win. I want everyone to grow. The more, the better in this, you know?
That's right.
Cool.
Yeah,
Listen,
I totally agree.
Great time.
I mean, these are exciting times for animal keepers because information is traveling faster now than ever before. Back in our day, remember in the 90s, we had to buy like the care help books and reptile magazines to figure out information. Now it's just on mobiles. And
I stole zoo books from my library at the elementary school, and I would watch and I would watch Steve Irwin show on fucking Discovery.
That's right. We had television, but you had to be there at a certain time to watch.
Yep, every day after school. So you know what? You're right. This is a very big time for the animal community altogether because the animals are starting to grow onto humans more and more. Like if you don't think that there's animal lovers out there now, you should, dude. It's crazier now. Like you understand, even people like who hate snakes are starting to understand what a snake is and how a snake don't want nothing to do with nobody. Just leave it alone and it won't mess with you. A lot of people are starting to, starting to like become a more natural of a knowledge type of thing from what I'm understanding. We still got a lot more work to do, but I'm all about the growth at this point. And I got to tell you, this has been an amazing podcast. My last hot seat question before you leave. If you had to get rid of one platform, Mikey, if you had to get rid of one platform forever, and I mean forever, is it going to be Facebook or Instagram? Which one would need to go?
I would say Instagram.
Damn. Well,
why? What
you did?
What,
you did.
why?
You did good up to this point.
Really? I just find Instagram is.
No, keep it real.
Okay, I'm not gonna judge Instagram. Never mind.
No.
For me, this is for me personally.
Yes, it's for you. Fuck me. No, this is for you, Mikey. I'll keep it real.
It's funny, and I'm the most like involved in Instagram, and it's funny I say that, but I owe Facebook a lot in terms of how it's helped me launch a career, like more on the acting stuff, Yeah, Instagram. I don't know. I just never mind.
No,
Facebook for me.
Tell me. I want to hear it. Tell me.
Facebook for me.
It's a different entity because listen, you're getting the appreciation of Facebook with the acting and the community side, and I don't know that side of community with Facebook. The only side of community.
Oh, it's great for video distribution.
Yeah, I bet
Facebook is awesome.
But animal groups, like snake groups, the devil. Like administration, like
okay. I get it. I understand now. Yeah, in terms of like fostering communities, like a Discord or something, it's very. I don't know if Facebook is the platform for that.
Right. But respect. It is. I mean, listen. To each their own, man. I wanted to hear this. Like, listen. Everyone has their piece of the pie that they enjoy, and I I'm not into have everyone agree what I agree. I mean, I like to hear this side of it because it makes sense. You have a lot more going on than just the ants. You know, you have multiple streams going on, man. And listen, I'm very excited to see what the future holds for you, man. I mean, I'm definitely I won't be on your bumper right away because I know you're busy, but I will be planning to be flying to go see your ass. Just so you know, I'm gonna be coming, dude. It's happening. Okay. Now
sounds
listen,
good. We'll pick you up at the airport.
We had up to over 60 people at one point tapping in for this episode. What do you have to say to everyone who was here rooting you on and here supporting Ants Canada, Mikey Bustos?
Well, I just wanted to say thank you so much, guys, for the support. For those of you who do watch the Ants Canada channel or any channel, you guys really changed my life. I just can't even describe how much I feel. I wake up every day pinching myself. I couldn't have done it without any of you. And so I am committed every day to bring you entertainment and information, education, all that good stuff. So thank you so much, guys. Love you so much. And thank you for having me on the show, MJ.
Oh, pleasure. Thank you so much. Animal Con 2023. I will see you there, correct?
See you there, yeah.
All right. There it is. Well, there it is. It's a wrap for Mikey Bustos, Ants Can't, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Mikey. Have a good night. Thank you. See ya.
Bye-bye.
What a guy, man. Totally butchered that sign off, but what a damn episode. I appreciate everyone who tapped in. This guy's day's just getting started. We woke up, rolled out of bed, and did this podcast. Shout out to the Philippines. Man, I'm going to go visit. I hope you guys are ready for that. Damn, I'm about to go to the Philippines. My mind's already like processing, like going to go look up flights and stuff like that. Who am I going to take? Not Matthew Summers. He's a girlfriend now. I'm just kidding. Oh my God, what an episode. I had a great time. Please, guys, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. More importantly, if this is where your first time tapping in, definitely hit that subscribe button. But yeah, what a great episode. Learned a lot more about Mikey. And like I said, it was a pleasure meeting him at Animal Con. And this is why I keep preaching about why you should definitely go to fucking events, not just Animal Con, any animal event in your area. If you're looking to pursue this for the full time or just do this for the long run, you know, even if, you know, shit, there's plenty of people out there who does this on a full-time basis, but it's not a full-time basis. They're just damn so player enough to where they could keep the 9 to 5 and do this where it seems like it's a full-time basis. So respect to you if you have that kind of grind. That shit's hard as fuck, I gotta say. But yeah, man, I appreciate this. This was great. I hope you guys are ready. This week we have a lot coming as far as for the rest of the week of episodes go. I have not publicly announced it. I mean, it's definitely on the roster. If you were to go to the YouTube and see what's to come, you guys are going to know who I'm going to be having here on the show here Saturday. It's crazy. You know, I do my typically do my international trap talks Saturday mornings. But due to this guy's schedule and due to it taking me over 3 years to book this guy for a show, and this is his first time ever coming to any platform to speak publicly about his game and his practices, you know, what he does to do what he does in the game for his production, short tail pythons, blood pythons, ball pythons, anacondas. Can anyone guess who the fuck I'm bringing? Well, I can tell you what, it's a power couple. It's a duo. It's the one and only Juggernaut Reptiles. Finally! Damn, this is so legendary. I hope you guys are ready. This shit was not easy, but my man's been through a lot. Life has hit this guy heavy, but he has arose and he's ready to come to the Trap Talk table, the round table, and spit some game. Elijah and Tiffany Armis, Juggernaut Reptiles, going down Saturday, this Saturday, 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. If anyone is staying in Saturday night, no clubbing. You're just trying to just kick it, you know, roll a blunt, get your mind right, cook up some good food, tap in. It's going to go down. It's going to be sick. It's going to be live right before fucking Tinley, man. Tinley's going down. Can't wait. So yeah, be ready. Took me a long time to book that. Hope you guys are excited. I know I'm excited. And then also Sunday, we are finally getting back to the things of the Gecko Talk, Holy Gecko Sessions this Sunday with a couple I had the pleasure of meeting in Las Vegas. During that whole time of I mean, who out there heard about a table of geckos having $400,000 of gecko sales within 20 minutes of being open? I was there. Somebody who was there was schooling me on the whole game behind the designer gecko fucking market. And he's tapped in. He also has some himself. So him and his wife are coming through Trap Talk this Sunday. Holy Gecko Session. We're going to be talking about some $50,000 geckos, all that. It is not playing right now in the gecko game. Let's learn more about it. It's going down Sunday, 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And then after Sunday's episode, my Trap Talk Patreon Zoom session going down. Cannot wait to tap in with all my Patreon members. It's been a couple weeks, but every week I try to get together with my Trap Talk Patreon members on Zoom call after the Sunday episode. So if you want to tap in with us and the trappers, okay, go down to the link below, join the Trap Talk Patreon link, and then you get the link to the Zoom session Sunday. Trappers, I'll see you there. It's going to be awesome. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you guys. My grind ain't going to stop. Oh, yeah. Shameless plug before I leave. Guys, other than this channel, if you guys don't already, please head over to the Snake Trap Session Vlogs YouTube channel. I put out a vlog out there every week. I try to at least. But anyways, I'm just shy of 1,000 subscribers. Please head over there, hit that subscribe button, get my subscribers up. I want to hit 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. And I will continue my vlogs. Like, for instance, I got a vlog dropping tomorrow, 7:45 a.m. Wow, what did I get in the mail? A new dream snake from one of my dreamiest homies? Yes, it's going down tomorrow, premiering here on YouTube, 7:45 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Tap in. Thank you so much for your love and support. Thank you, Mikey Bustos of Ants Canada. What an episode. Cannot wait to rewatch this. Make sure you guys go rate and review on any other podcast platforms that you listen to, Apple Podcasts, Buzzsprout, Google Play, all that stuff. I appreciate you guys' love and support. I will catch you guys here next time, and I'm out.